Hey guys, it's Infrared back with another Pokemon Brick Bronze video. This time, I'll be talking about the best starter for Pokemon Brick Bronze. Now, this actually didn't take nearly as long as I thought it would, 2 days to be precise, but it's still pretty hard to judge when there's 24 starters to pick from. There's no wrong choice, but there's definitely a best choice, and since there's so many choices, I'll narrow them down for you. The best starter is one of these three: Froakie, Litten, or Mudkip. Remember that any Pokemon from the Alola region have their Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon movesets, and any Pokemon from Generations 1 through 6 will have their X and Y movesets. This video will be similar to Arizo's best starter videos, as I'll also be rating these Pokemon's performances in battle from a scale of 1 to 5. Remember that this is all based on my opinion. Think before you comment. Anyways, let's get started. Now, as far as gyms go, almost any starter will automatically be walled early game because of the first three. Their types are electric, fire, and water, so you're going to be weak to either of the three. Let's start with Froakie for our comparison. You'll be screwed against Chad no matter what, but you can actually catch an Incada on Route 3 to counter Chad's electric types, so you're not completely hopeless if you pick a water type. You'll easily destroy Sebastian, and assuming you have a Greninja by Roscoe, you'll probably go even with Quentin. You'll also go even with Steven, aside from crushing his Archeops, and destroy Ryan, excluding his Quagsire and Garchomp. Fissy will annihilate Greninja, obviously, and you'll go even with most of Zeke's team, aside from having the advantage over Houndoom. Since Greninja's part Dark, you can probably manage to sweep Captain B as well, aside from her Spiritomb and her Sableye. Rivals are a bit tougher to talk about though. Jake immediately gets a Blitzel, and you battle Jake 4 times with that Blitzel. The only edge you have over Jake is when he gets an Arcanine and his Nidorino evolves into Nidoking, but that's at Route 14 where you should have a full team of Pokemon around level 60 or higher. Tess isn't any easier either. While you only battle her twice, there's not much room for Greninja to do anything unless you grind for 90 battle points and teach it Ice Beam. But then again, Tess uses all dragons, and the only fairy starter is Primarina, who doesn't really do well outside of Tess in some of the gyms. No matter what, you'll always struggle against Tess. Now for Team Eclipse. A good portion of Team Eclipse carries fire types, especially at Mount Igneous, and both admins have rock types as their ace, being Lunatone and Solrock. Cypress always carries 2 of each type of starter, so any starter will be neutral against him. Aside from that, his grunts usually carry poison or dark types. They'll even sometimes carry electric, bug, and fighting types. They're very diverse, but the types I just named all hurt Greninja. With all of that said, I think that Froakie isn't the best choice for Pokemon Brick Bronze. Let's move on to our fire starter candidate, Litten. We'll cover everything in the same order we used for Froakie, starting with gyms. You go even with Chad and Sebastian, but learning Double Kick does give you the edge against his Litleo. Sadly, you get destroyed by Quentin, but you can take care of Steven Skarmory, but aside from that you go neutral with everything else except his Archeops, which wrecks you. Ryan actually has a fair amount of steel types on his team, so you can breeze through those, and you have the edge over his Claydol, which is part Psychic, but that battle can still go both ways since you're still weak to ground. Aside from that, you lose to his Quagsire and Garchomp brutally. You obviously destroy Fissy, who's a grass-type gym leader, and you can actually wreck Zeke if you have Cross Chop, which you learn at level 66. You can also get the Brick Break TM from the Laguna Hover Park if you don't like Cross Chop. Your Dark typing also gives you the same edge over Captain B Greninja has. Now for rivals. With Jake, you probably have Double Kick in the second battle to take care of his Eevee, but you go neutral against every other Pokemon he has. However, his Eevee evolves into Vaporeon by the third battle, and he also gets the Slowpoke, but you can still win against that since it's part Psychic. His Arcanine and Nidoking don't help Incineroar at the Route 14 battle, and the only advantage you have on him in the final battle is against his Dhelmise. And his Slowbro, but that can go both ways because of reasons I mentioned earlier. And again, just like Greninja, Tess will also make you struggle, but it'll be far worse for Incineroar since her Garchomp is part ground. As far as Team Eclipse goes, you'll mostly be neutral against everything. You can take care of their dark types with Double Kick and Cross Chop, or Brick Break, if you taught your Incineroar that. And you can use Bite or Darkest Lariat against the admin's rock types, since they're also part psychic. Harry's Lunatone doesn't even know any rock type moves besides Rock Polish. But Gabe Solrock does have Rock Slide, so be wary of that. Is this enough to make Incineroar the best starter? Well, we've still got one candidate left. Alright, screw it. You all knew this was coming. Mudkip is the best starter. How? Let me explain. While you might be weak to Chad's electric types, you can just evolve Mudkip into Marshtomp and that won't matter anymore. This also makes Sebastian a cakewalk, and you'll go neutral against Quentin and Steven, aside from his Archeops. You'll crush Ryan aside from his Quagsire and Garchomp, but Fissy completely obliterates Swampert. I mean, hey, your only weakness is grass. You can actually take care of Zeke by learning Hammer Arm at level 69, and you'll already have the advantage over his Houndoom with or without it. Because this is the only starter I mentioned that isn't a dark type, you go even with Captain B, aside from her Aegislash, which is part Steel. Now, were the gyms the only reason? No. The real reason that Swampert is the best starter is actually because of the sheer amount of fire and poison types Team Eclipse carries. They also carry a lot of dark types which you can take care of Hammer Arm, and if you don't like Hammer Arm speed reduction, you can learn Brick Break just like in Incineroar via TM. Again, you'll struggle with tests, but Jake will be significantly easier since you can easily shred Blitzel and Nidoran, which will evolve, and you'll still crush them either way. Arcanine is also an added bonus for Swampert to demolish Jake, but his Delmise does hold Swampert back in the final battle. And that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.